Welcome to Type C Tech Reviews. Today we're going to be unboxing the LG 32GR93U. If you want to check out this exact same monitor, there's Amazon links below for the US, UK, Canada, and international links. But let's get this unboxed. You know that you're opening this side because there's this little emblem that says front. You don't want to open at the front, you want to open at the back. So let's get this open. Now, this is a IPS 4K 32-inch, fairly high refresh rate monitor. And in this day and age, while that used to be basically the benchmark literally just 3 years ago, now OLEDs are taking over, mini LED lit IPS panels, and this, well, is still kind of expensive in today's age. Now, here is the stand. This is classic new style LG, which looks great. It's metal wrapped in plastic, it's high quality, it's slightly off gray, almost a purplish hue, and it looks really good. This is also full G-Sync, I believe. Now, also in here, we've got LG's big old power brick, some manuals and paperwork, so a little clip right there, possibly for getting into it. I'm not really sure what that's for. We've got the power brick, fairly large, a cable management clip that goes on the back of the stand. You can see that's a little clip that clips in there. Not the best method, but at least they include something. The other side of this power brick, so that plugs in there, a USB Type B to USB Type A, that's probably the upstream port, a display port cable, and then an HDMI 2.1 cable. All right, but with that, let's get into the rest of the stand. Lifting this off, here is the top of that stand. Personally, I think Alienware is doing a lot better job than LG at this point with their stands. LG was just killing it before and during COVID, and now they're just kind of a little bit more boring. That's the stand, pretty average. It looks good though, it feels well built. You can plug this in and that's like your cable management, which you can see is not really the best. Thicker cables are just not gonna really work. So to put this together, slide that in and then screw it in with one screw. This is a high quality thumb screw, so you can just use your thumbs. However, this does have a pretty good amount of adjustability, but this is basically what's on every one of their monitors. Now, with that, let's get to the panel itself, which LG always does this stupid thing, which is number one, putting the monitor upside down, so the way that you're probably going to open it, and two, not giving you an opening to clip in this lock-in monitor like almost everyone else does. You have to actually like take it out, which is a little bit annoying. LG is definitely falling behind in the monitor space. It's honestly a shame because LG was one of my favorite monitor companies ever, but they do IPSs extremely well, probably better than anyone else. That is non-mini LED lit ones. Now, the back does look pretty cool here. It looks very clean. Let's take this. You can see how awkward this is. Line up those tops and then just, there it is. Now it's locked in. And we can take it out. Let's take off this plastic and get a look at this monitor. So, like I said, flat IPS panel. Overall, I like that this is blacked out down here. I think that looks really good. It's a freaking thick monitor for just being an IPS panel. This is actually pretty dang thick. We've got some plastic around the top and bottom, which is gloss, which I think actually does look pretty good. On the bottom, we've got their joystick, which LG does have the best menu system, at least if this is the same menu system that they use. I think they actually made a different menu system that was actually kind of terrible, but historically they've been the king of menu systems. Now also on this, we've got their purplish logo back here. We've got this textured back, which I think is really, really cool. So if you do look at the back of your monitor, this is a very good looking one. Now, one of the things I do really like that no one else really does is rear facing ports, not downward facing. This is much easier to plug stuff in. Personally, I think it's much easier, especially when the monitor is against the desk and you need to reach behind you and plug it in. I think it's far easier than underneath. So here we've got two HDMI. I believe both of these are 2.1. You got a display port, your upstream USB Type B port, two USB Type A's, and then your DC in. Now, I don't believe that we have any other USBs hidden around here. It looks like we've got a few Kensington locks, and then we do get that DTS headphone jack down there, which is very cool. But with that, let's get it on the desk, do initial impressions, do a gaming test, and a ghosting test. All right, guys, now that on the desk, let's get it turned on. Also, forgot to show the adjustability. It has quite a bit of adjustability. Doesn't go super low or super high, but pretty good enough. A lot of tilt there. And does this have swivel? Not really, it's just super loose. I don't actually remember it being that bad. I've had a few of these LGs with this stand. That's very interesting, actually. Okay, let's get it turned on. Has the beep there. Ultragear comes up there, very, very pretty. Let's go right into the menu system. I really like this menu system. It's absolutely beautiful. It has cool graphics, as you can see there. If we go into input, there's like you know, it's just extremely pretty. We're on DisplayPort, so we're gonna leave that. Let's go into the settings. It's extremely fast. I mean, look at how pretty this is. What other menu system looks like this? Tells you the information, tells it. It's very bright. Okay, right away it's very bright. FPS, Gamer 2 got brighter than Gamer 1. FPS, RTS, Vivid, Reader, HDR effect. That's very vibrant and very good colors immediately. sRGB, color weakness. I think that's for like colorblind people. And then you have calibrations that you can actually use through LG's app. So very, very good. LG's pretty much been the go-to for a lot of people for quite a number of years for a gaming and professional like editing monitor. Now, Alienware doesn't actually develop their own panel technology, so a lot of Alienware panels are actually from LG. So that's why a lot of those professional video creators, YouTubers will use Alienwares as well. But a lot of those are actually LG IPS panels. Now, adaptive sync is on. This has G-Sync. We have a black stabilizer. We have our response time settings, crosshairs, FPS counters. There's a lot of stuff in here. We can change the brightness, which is at 100% in Gamer 2. We have contrast, sharpness, gamma, color temperature. We have all of our different color saturations and hues here. We have different black levels and stuff, and I think that has to have variable refresh rate off for that. We have DFC, which is off stock from factory, which is a good thing because that's not how it used to be with LG's. This menu system is such a breath of fresh air after looking at everyone else's stuff. We have hexagon lighting back there, which is cool, and you can see it actually is fairly bright back there. And it changes immediately, which is quite cool on the back, and it's actually uniform and it actually works. If this is anything like the other ones, which it looks like it's exactly the same, it's very, very cool. We also have our DTS Headphone X with different like modes, game, entertainment, sports. That's pretty cool. We have smart energy saving, which from the factory is turned off. Finally, LG is listening. We have deep sleep mode. We have the power LED, which I actually like to turn on, which is this little thing down there, and it turns red. That's kind of cool. I like that. We have automatic standby. We can set it to 8 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, or off. There's a lot of stuff in here. We can also turn on DisplayPort 1.4 with either DSC on or obviously DSC off and force it off. That's pretty cool. We have the buzzer, which we are going to turn off because I don't like that. We have OSD locks. We have total information, 0 hours. It's at 4K, 144 hertz. Very, very cool. There's a lot of settings to go through here. And yeah, this is the best menu system in the industry. There is literally nothing better than this menu system. It is so nice to use on a daily basis. If you have different modes, calibration settings that you need to constantly switch between, LG is the king of menu systems. They do that better than anyone else. But let's make sure all the settings are correct and then let's hop in game. All right, so let's go into NVIDIA control panel and we are at 4K. And we can output 12 bits of color. This has, I think, 95% of the DCI-P3 color space, maxes at 144 hertz. I believe this is basically the same technology that they were using quite a long time ago, but it's an IPS panel. If you want a 4K IPS panel, 32 inches, and it's not mini LED lit, I mean, LG does make the best ones. They just do. Now, right away, I'm gonna go through the modes and see if the colors are gonna change. This doesn't look especially accurate. Gamer 1 looks a little bit better, and maybe I'm wrong, but I was just using a very color accurate monitor, and this does look a bit off. So that'll be in the full review though. Let's jump in game. Also guys, during the waiting screen, there is a matte finish on this, but unlike their OLEDs that they were making, this doesn't look like it's super, super intense. You definitely get a little bit of that dirty screen effect, but it's really only super noticeable in these like whiter areas here, but definitely not as bad as their OLEDs, which was unbearably bad to the point that I really did not recommend it to anyone. So, all right, jumping right in game here, the first thing you notice is for an IPS panel, a lot of people are gonna go, oh, you don't have the black levels. I just came from my 32-inch Alienware OLED, and this is still a beautiful experience, and that says a lot, guys. That's a glossy panel, so I can tell you right away, the matte finish is not super intense here. It's very, very good for a matte finish. The colors are very, very pretty. Actually, pretty damn close to the OLED, which is very impressive. Those reds right here look really quite phenomenal. The blacks are obviously not there. The dark, these shadows in here are not there. It's a little bit more bluish, but I mean, you definitely can't say that this is not a beautiful monitor. It is. IPS panels can be beautiful. I think a lot of people think that to have a truly stunning monitor, you have to have something like an OLED, and that's just not true. This is a very enjoyable experience right now. You know, it's only 144 hertz, but we do have that 4K-ness, which is absolutely, you know, just so detailed. You get all of that clarity here, and you get the brightness. This is a very bright display. This definitely is not lacking on brightness here. This is pretty much exactly what you would want. Now, I am used to gaming on a 4K 240 hertz for the past couple of days now, and this is a little bit to get used to because it's only 144 hertz, but for the price, this may or may not be worth it. It definitely is gonna have to be really deep dive. That's something that I'm really gonna go into in the full review, because even on sale right now, this thing is like, I think 600 bucks, which just a year, 2 years ago, this would be an unbelievably good deal. But with something like a lot of the OLEDs out now, and Dell Alienware really making some truly phenomenal ones. I typically am extremely hard on OLEDs, but I think the ones that Alienware has been making are exceptional and possibly worth the burn-in risk, or probably will burn in at some point. But there's no question that as an IPS panel, this is a phenomenal one. LG makes the best. You have a very wide color gamut. You have a wide screen. The matte finish doesn't seem to be that bad. The brightness is great. The ghosting seems to be great, but let's test that now. The whites here also seem to be very accurate. I might be wrong about the accuracy before, kind of thinking that it looked off. These whites look like the color temperature looks pretty much perfect. Yeah, and this is exactly what I expected. The ghosting is pretty much perfect, but we're not even in the fastest setting, which hopefully they didn't overboost. So we can get just even better. Let's go in here. So we're in fast, let's go to faster. No, they totally overboosted it. It's, you know, has tons of overshoot. So fast is definitely the setting you're gonna wanna leave it in. Doesn't look like in fast it has any overshoot. I'm gonna take the camera so I can show you what I'm seeing. Yeah, looks great. While the Alienware OLED that was literally just on this desk is better, it's primarily better because it's 240 hertz. For ghosting at 144 hertz, this is pretty much as good as you're gonna get visually to your eye, even if you're using an OLED. It's not really gonna change that much. So is this worth it? I'm not sure. You gotta wait for the full review coming in a few days. But yeah, if you wanna check it out, Amazon links below. But this is Consumer Tech Review, and I'll see you guys in the next video.